What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on these analysis. We're going to be looking at Nike today. Nike, I still think, is at a discount at the moment. We have been riding down this downward sloping trend line for an extended period of time, all the way since, honestly, October 2021, we've been riding downward. So I know it's been a hard time to buy Nike. Nobody's interested in Nike, but I do think at some point the narrative will change, the mindset will change around Nike. This company's been absolutely ripping to the upside for a very long time. And now we're just starting to see one of these drawdowns. We have seen this move happen, something similar, not exactly the same. Remember, history rhymes. It doesn't have to repeat it, but it's going to rhyme more than likely. We have seen something similar before with Nike, and that's what I have these yellow lines on the map for, or on the chart for. And that's to show these fib levels, which you can see when you pull on this bull flag or pennant, whatever you want to call this, a pullback to the 618. We've hit it a couple times, but really it's based off of this move here. So we really hit it one time, one key time that we got this nice rejection, slightly underneath the 618, but still above the 786, which is the big picture. We held this key golden zone, and we saw something similar all the way back here from the 90s and 80s. We were building the same structure from 85. We built the bull flag, and we pulled back to the 618 in 2000, and then we absolutely ran up for an extended period after that. So I feel like we're seeing this play out once again, and it's kind of like a deja vu. These are two separate moves. That's why I have these fibs drawn out. So this is one move here, and that's the other move there. So these are two separate moves, but they're playing out to be very similar in my opinion. Yes, they kind of look a little bit different, but when you look at the fib levels, it's telling you that they're practically the same, because that's what really matters, the fib levels. So like I said, we have seen a push up before, pull back to the 618. We fell underneath the 618 and we wicked back above, chopped a little bit longer for maybe another couple years, which is hard to, be in the moment for 2 years and not see your investment grow. But then after that, I'm sure every single person that was accumulating here was very happy, because even if you bought here at the top at $6.74, you still ended up going up over 2,400% over the next however many years. So even if you bought here in 04, you went up 2,400% in the next 18 years, which is a very solid return for a company that's giving you out a pretty solid dividend of around 2% right now at the current time. But I'm sure as things start to kick up, maybe they'll drop it to 1.5, 1.2, but that's when growth is, completely back to normal. But I think we're in this period right now where we're going sideways, and we could see that explosive move to the upside. I'm not saying it's going to play out for sure, because it's a much larger corporation than it was back here. But we could see some significant upside when nobody's expecting it. I don't really hear many people talking about Nike, but I do think it's a sleeper. In my opinion, we got it all the way down to 50, which I thought was an absolute steal. I still think it's a good price right now. And all-time highs is sitting at 170 roughly. So you're talking about, just from here, roughly you're talking about a 135% move. Like I said, while you're getting a 2% dividend off of whatever you're purchasing. So it's not a bad deal right now. On the SMAs, we have fallen on the 3-month chart. We've fallen underneath the 50, which is a key level. This is going to be very strong or hard to break. It's a strong level. So we want to break that and make our way to that SMA, the 3-month SMA. So if we can make that, break and hold that, continue up higher, I think we could see some kind of significant rally. We did make it to our 200-month SMA. That does not happen very often. I'll show you guys. Have we even touched it before? We've never even touched it before. So we haven't even had a move where we've touched the 200-month SMA. So we'll see how things play out here. It looks like we're getting a pretty significant bounce. and we're running into the 20-month SMA right now, and we still have our 50-month above our head as well. And on the weekly, we are showing some signs of life here. As you can see, we have broken above our 20 and our 50, which we've only done a handful of times before getting rejected. So we'll see if we can break this and actually hold this downward sloping trend line to have a confirmed breakout and eventually make it to the 200 week and make a decision there. Last time we made it to the 200 week, you can see we got rejected pretty solid. And over here, we kind of had like a double top into it and fell off of it. A very strong and key level is the 3-month moving average. So it's on a 3-month chart, the 8 EMA. So if we can hold that in a confirmed breakout to the upside, I think that could definitely help Nike get the momentum it needs to the upside. As you can see, we were holding that 8 EMA the entire time practically as we were making our way up higher. And now we have fallen underneath it, and that's kind of when this downtrend has been elongated. So we are pushing back up to it. Hopefully we can make a decision to break above it and start to hug it on the way up as we make our way higher on the price. But this is usually a pretty indicative sign of a nice bull run when we break back above it and hold it. On the 3-month RSI, this is the most oversold we've ever been in Nike history. We've never made it down to 42. And we made it down there. So I think it's absolutely oversold, out of this world, and I don't think anybody's even paying attention to it. But I think this is going to be a good play over the next 5, 10, 15 years. This is something you want to have in your long-term portfolio that you want to even give to your kids or something like that, depending on how old you are, if you even have kids, even for yourself. I think it's going to be a great play long-term, not financial advice. And on the monthly RSI, you can see we made it down to 31.8, which we made that in 84 and never have seen that ever again. This is the first time we've seen 31 on the RSI since 1985. If that isn't oversold to you, then I don't know what is. But we have made our move back above this yellow moving average, and it's looking like it's trying to find a nice little bottom there. Maybe this is one large double bottom. When you take a look here, maybe this is our little midpoint down, and maybe we make our way back up to show an increased strength behind price and allow Nike to continue that move higher. Here on the weekly, we're actually looking pretty good. We're actually pushing up higher. We're sitting at 58 roughly on the RSI. We have seen rejection roughly at around 65 prior. So let's see if we find rejection there, or if we can kind of continue this momentum and break out. Nike can really get going once it has that momentum behind it. It can actually pull some pretty crazy numbers that you wouldn't expect from a large company like this. On the MACD, we're incredibly bearish right now. We're entering bearish territory, and the volume was kicking up, but actually it's starting to slowly dwindle down. This is on the 3 months, so this takes a long time to play out. Momentum's still pushing down, but we are seeing this red start to decrease a little bit. And on the monthly, we're actually starting to get the blue curling back up, and the red has completely depleted. So we're about to get the green flip pretty soon here. And we've been red since February 2022. We had the red flip, and we've been holding it the entire time. So this is actually a very, very bullish sign. We haven't seen any green since January 2022, and that initial move started in August 2020. So we are seeing this flip back above, which is a very bullish sign. It's a good time, I think, in my opinion, to accumulate. I know it's hard, but I think if you put your head down and you forget about it, you'll be thanking yourself later. Like I said, while accumulating a dividend on top of that. And here we're starting to see this increase here on the MACD. Nice momentum, pushing back into bullish territory here on the weekly. So this is looking pretty solid right now. Overall, my outlook on Nike remains the same, and I think it's going to be a pretty good buy. I think people will be talking about this later, like, man, how did I not buy when it was down at $50? It's because it was going down, for 4 or 5 years. So nobody wants to buy something that's been bleeding out. When you're seeing Bitcoin ramping up, pushing to new highs and all this and all these other stocks, Nvidia, Google, Microsoft breaking all-time highs, it's hard to buy this dip. I get it because it feels like you're burning cash, just throwing it in the dumpster. But eventually, you will see the results of your dedication to the Nike stock. That's all I have for you guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on these videos. It helps the algorithm. I always appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys in the next.